minutes past 5, BBC Surrey Drive at 5. Now, the British government has today announced it's decided not to allow thousands of Chagos Islanders to return home. Instead, the Foreign Office says the Chagossians would be offered compensation totalling £40 million over the next 10 years. Well, the government also confirmed that the UK will allow the US to continue to maintain its military base in the islands. Well, Stefan Donnelly is from the UK Chagos Support Association and caught up with me earlier.
It's not the decision we hope for. It's not the decision we expected. It's not the decision that we think makes sense. We think it's a completely heartless decision, but also a completely senseless decision. This was the perfect opportunity to back a resettlement programme, and the government have missed that opportunity. And it's a very dark day in Chagossian history, but also the history of this country.
Stefan, have you been given a specific reason as to why the government has reached this decision?
Well, the written statement just came out a couple of hours ago. I've looked through it quickly. There seem to be statements, there seem to be reports in that pointing to security reasons, pointing to cost. Those seem to be the main reasons. We dispute both of those really on a number of grounds. The cost to the British taxpayer would be minimal compared to so many other projects we're committed to. There's no security reasons why return could not go ahead alongside a military base. Almost all military bases have a civilian population, and even Diego Garcia, which is the military base in the Chagos Islands, has a civilian population of thousands of support staff. But those were the reasons outlined in the report, but as I say, it's not one we think make an awful lot of sense.
Given the campaign that's been in place for a number of years to allow Chagossians to return home, given the support that you've had of some members of Parliament and celebrity names as well attached to the campaign, does today's ruling come as a real surprise?
To some extent, as I say, I think this was the perfect opportunity to right this historical wrong. Everything seems to be in favour of a positive decision. But on the other hand, certainly the Chagossian community would tell you they've been here before. They've been very close to getting justice and had it snatched away. And that seems to be what's happened again today, unfortunately.
And perhaps it's far too early to answer, but let me ask anyway, Stefan. In terms of what the next step is, any ideas yet, just given the sheer number of years that you have been campaigning for the right to return home?
I think at the minute, to be honest, yes, it probably is too early. I think the community will have to come together, discuss this, decide what their next steps are. Already, though, I've heard from Chagossians saying that they're not going to give up, and they're extremely upset by today, and it's a very emotional day, as you'd understand. But they're shown massive resilience throughout this campaign, and I'd expect that to continue whatever they decide to do next.
Well, that's Stefan Donnelly from the UK Chagos Support Association talking to BBC Surrey.